What happens when a group of teenage girls stand up to one of London's most powerful companies? In 1888, hundreds of young women and girls working at Bryant& May's match factory endured dangerous conditions, long hours, low pay, and exposure to toxic white phosphorus, which caused a horrific disease called phossy jaw, leading to severe disfigurement and death. Tired of being overworked, underpaid, and unfairly blamed for accidents, the match girls decided to take a bold stand. On July 5, 1888, after one girl was unjustly dismissed, around 1,400 match girls walked out in a sudden strike that shocked the city. Rather than retreat, they organized meetings, rallied public support, and courageously confronted factory management. Their story caught the attention of journalists and social reformers, who amplified their cause. After just 3 weeks, the company conceded to their demands, including fairer wages, safer working conditions, and an end to humiliating fines. This victory was more than a personal triumph. It ignited a powerful challenge to exploitative labor practices and inspired others to demand dignity and justice in the workplace. Imagine walking into a courtroom and seeing a rotting corpse propped up on trial. In 897 AD, this nightmare became reality in Rome during the Cadaver Synod, one of history's most bizarre and unsettling events. Pope Stephen VI ordered the exhumation of his predecessor, Pope Formosus, who had died just months earlier. The decaying body was dressed in papal robes and seated on a throne to face charges including perjury and violating sacred laws. A deacon was appointed to speak on behalf of the corpse, while Stephen VI aggressively attacked his rival's legacy, determined to nullify his influence. The grotesque spectacle shocked the city, dividing public opinion and stirring unrest. Unsurprisingly, the court found the deceased Formosus guilty. His papal acts were annulled, his body stripped of sacred garments, and his 3 blessing fingers were cut off as a symbolic punishment. Finally, his remains were thrown into the Tiber River. The Cadaver Synod's scandalous nature sparked riots and outrage, ultimately leading to Stephen VI's imprisonment and death. This surreal trial stands as a chilling example of how bitter power struggles can descend into grotesque extremes, forever marking a dark chapter in history. What if a single debate could change the course of an entire nation's spiritual path? In 664 CE, the Synod of Whitby did just that. Held at the monastery of Whitby, this historic gathering brought together influential church leaders and royalty to resolve a heated dispute. Should the English Church follow Celtic or Roman Christian practices? The differences ranged from how monks cut their hair to the date of Easter, but the implications were much deeper. King Oswiu of Northumbria presided over the assembly, where passionate arguments echoed through the halls. Celtic tradition, rooted in Irish missionary work, clashed with the customs of Rome, the heart of Western Christianity. After intense debate, King Oswiu dramatically sided with the Roman method, declaring unity with the wider Christian world. This decision not only standardized religious practices, but also aligned England with continental Europe, shaping the nation's identity for centuries to come. The Synod of Whitby stands as a turning point, a moment when faith, culture, and politics collided to chart a new course for English Christianity. What would you do when faced with overwhelming odds? In 991 AD, near the banks of the River Blackwater in Essex, a small band of Anglo-Saxon warriors confronted fierce Viking invaders in a battle that would echo through history. The Battle of Malden began when Viking ships landed, demanding tribute to avoid conflict. Refusing to submit, Beartnoth, the noble ealdorman, rallied his men to defend their homeland with unwavering resolve. As the tide ebbed, the Vikings requested safe passage across a narrow causeway. In a fateful and controversial decision, Beartnoth allowed them through, choosing honor and fairness over tactical advantage. The battle erupted into brutal hand-to-hand combat on the muddy shore. Despite being heavily outnumbered, the Anglo-Saxons fought with remarkable courage and loyalty. Beartnoth himself fell in the fray, inspiring a legendary Old English poem that immortalized his bravery and the steadfastness of his warriors. Though ultimately defeated, the defenders became enduring symbols of heroic resistance. The Battle of Malden stands as a powerful testament to the spirit of those who choose valor and loyalty, even when victory seems impossible. Their sacrifice continues to challenge us to consider what we would risk for honor and homeland. Have you ever wondered what would happen if the world suddenly believed life existed on the moon? In 1835, the New York Sun published a series of articles claiming a renowned astronomer had discovered incredible lunar inhabitants, bipedal beavers, winged humans, and even unicorns. Using a powerful new telescope, the reports described detailed landscapes and bustling civilizations, complete with temples made of sapphire and vast forests. The public was captivated. Readers crowded newsstands, scientists debated the findings, and rival papers scrambled to verify the claims. The story spread across continents, igniting imaginations everywhere and inspiring artists and writers alike. But it was all a fabrication, crafted by journalist Richard Adams Locke as a satire of wild scientific speculation and the gullibility of the public. The hoax was so convincing that it took weeks before the truth emerged. Even after the Sun admitted the ruse, many refused to believe they'd been fooled, clinging to the fantastical tales. The Great Moon Hoax remains a testament to the power of sensational media and a lasting reminder to question extraordinary claims and seek evidence before accepting the unbelievable. Did you know that at one point, a single flower bulb was worth more than a house? Welcome to the astonishing saga of tulip mania, a financial frenzy that gripped the Dutch Republic and forever changed economic history. In the early 1600s, tulips were a rare and coveted luxury. Their vivid colors and unique patterns made them prized status symbols among the wealthy elite. But soon, the fascination spread far beyond aristocrats. Merchants, tradespeople, and even common folk wanted in on the craze. Prices skyrocketed as bulbs were traded like modern stocks, with some fetching the price of a grand canal-side home. People bought contracts for bulbs that hadn't even bloomed yet, betting on future profits. Then, suddenly, the bubble burst. In February 1637, buyers stopped showing up to tulip auctions. Panic swept the country as prices plummeted overnight. Fortunes vanished, debts mounted, and trust in markets was shaken to its core. Tulip mania remains a powerful cautionary tale, the world's first recorded speculative bubble, showing how desire and fear can drive people and entire markets to wild extremes. Imagine being at the heart of the Roman Empire, the world's most powerful civilization, when a mysterious disease suddenly sweeps through its streets and camps. In 165 AD, Roman soldiers returning from campaigns in the East brought back more than just victory. They unleashed the Antonine Plague. This deadly epidemic, believed to be either smallpox or measles, tore through the population, claiming up to 5 million lives over 15 years. No one was spared. Emperors, soldiers, and ordinary citizens alike fell victim to the relentless illness. The death toll was so severe that entire towns were abandoned, and the Roman army was crippled, struggling to defend the vast borders of the empire. Trade routes faltered as fear and uncertainty spread, while healers and doctors, including the famous Galen, scrambled desperately for answers and remedies. The Antonine Plague didn't just decimate numbers. It shook the very foundations of Rome's society, economy, and military might. Some historians argue it marked the beginning of the empire's slow decline, revealing how a single, invisible enemy could alter the course of history forever. This devastating outbreak serves as a stark reminder of how fragile even the greatest civilizations can be in the face of disease. Imagine fooling an entire enemy force with nothing but a dead body and a briefcase. In 1943, British intelligence masterminded a deception so audacious, it changed the course of battle. They found a homeless man who had died of pneumonia, dressed him as a Royal Marine officer named Major William Martin, and equipped him with a briefcase full of fake top-secret documents. The plan? Let these documents accidentally wash up on the coast of Spain, where German agents would surely find them. The papers detailed a fake Allied plan to invade Greece and Sardinia instead of the real target, Sicily. German high command, convinced by the ruse, diverted precious troops and resources away from the actual invasion point. This operation, known as Operation Mincemeat, relied on meticulous attention to detail, even planting fake love letters, theater tickets, and personal effects on the corpse to make his identity believable. The success of this ploy not only saved countless lives, but stands as one of history's boldest and most ingenious examples of wartime deception.